It's Slayer right here on your classic metal show with the Skeletons of Society, and that one goes out to the Angel of Death in the chat room.
Of course it does.
For a chick who's only 19 years old, she sure's got a lot of old tastes.
Good.
Not that I mind. It's just I'm surprised. It's like maybe living in BFE Newfoundland or Newfoundland is maybe a bonus for people because they get to kind of, fall behind the times and discover some old stuff. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, boys. It's Tim James again.
Hey, it's Tim James. What's up, Tim James?
I just wanted to ask you guys a question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer it, but I'm just going to ask it anyway.
Well, we know all, we see all, we hear all, we tell all. So please ask away.
Okay. Well, it's about Dokken, as you just had.
Like I can't answer a Dokken question? Are you kidding me? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Listen, they've been around since, 82, something like that. They started, I think.
Well, in reality, Dokken in general has been around since the late 70s. But the most popular lineup, has been around since like 82. But go ahead.
Now, I've become a Dokken fan because of this show.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
It's contagious. It's like having herpes. But go ahead.
Actually, no, the first time I ever heard them, it was on a compilation, and I heard Lightning Strikes Again, and I loved that. That was awesome. But
yeah, well, we sequenced that record, by the way, Tim.
I'm sure you did.
And I sung on that record. I actually sung on that record, but go ahead.
No, the song, not the record.
Well, Tim, thanks so much for calling.
Yeah, enough about me, Tim. Let's make this about you. So what were you asking?
Okay. Now, they've never been here now, and I know that, well, from what I understand from your show, Don was recently saying, as probably little as a year ago, that Broken Bones would be the last album. Now, I didn't hear the whole interview with John, but it's my understanding that the next project may be a Dokken album, it may not be a Dokken album, I don't know. But I'm just wondering how long you think they've got as a touring act and what it would take to get them out here. Now, I know that, they have to get an offer and all that stuff. And I just don't know, I don't know how many people they'd have to play in front of to make it worthwhile for them to come out here because they've never been out here.
Are you willing to book them, Tim?
Tim, it really doesn't matter if they play in your living room for you and your wife and your kid, just as long as you pay the fee.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter if they play in front of a stadium or if they play in front of 3 people, as long as they get the guarantee. As long as they get the fee.
Yeah.
And to come to Australia, I'm going to just take a guess here. I would assume it's probably $1 gazillion.
Well, Van Halen got $3 million.
So I'll bet Don would do it for $1 million. In fact, I'll tell you this right now, Tim. If you line up somebody willing to give Don $1 million, I will personally promise that I will make that happen for you. Neely, will you help me with this?
I will make a promise that for $1 million, Dokken will play in Australia for you, Tim.
2 nights.
No, there are a couple of local promoters here in Sydney. There's one that's recently brought out Lita Ford, and Rat and Winger came out together a couple of years ago. So those type of size of bands do come out here, but Dokken's never been out here, and there are some people that I could try to reach out to and see, at least get the feelers out.
Well, Tim, I've said this on the show before, and this is something we've had a discussion about before. But what people don't realize, and especially fans, they go, why don't you come to such and such a town, or why don't you come to my city, or why don't you come? And it's really not up to the band. It's the it's the promoter. You know, if they don't get a promoter who can put up the guarantee and this and that, whatever is required, chances are you're not going to see that band. The band doesn't say, oh, well, fuck that. We're not playing, you know, Moorhead in Minnesota because we hate it there. That doesn't happen. Yeah. It's just like, okay, a promoter in Moorhead, Minnesota put up the money and the guarantee. We're going.
I mean, maybe, you know, maybe a way. I mean, there are a couple of people that I know here, but maybe another way is getting a petition, or because I know that's kind of worked with some other bands. I know it brought Motley Crue out here in 2005 because of a petition. So I just was wondering from your perspective, because I just really like to see them, and I'm sure there'd be you know, at least, you know, they'd fill some of the venues of some of the smaller venues in Australia for sure.
Well, I agree with that, Tim. And when I see Don next week, I will mention it to him and ask him his thoughts on, what do you think of playing Australia? And his answer will be, the hell with that. They could pay me $1 million, and I'm not playing there. Screw that.
Please. You know damn
I'm
well.
sure he'd love the beach.
I'll bet you. I would bet you, and in all seriousness, you found a promoter willing to pay $25,000 a night, and hotels and flights and food, they're there. That's my guess.
Yeah.
That's my guess. $25K a night plus food and hotel and travel.
Yeah. Well, you know, as I said, there are a couple of promoters that I know that I can. I don't know them, but I know who presented.
Tim, why don't you just reach out to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and ask them to get Dokken for you?
I think you just call it Make a Cripple and be done with it.
It'll probably work. Just shake a little bit like you normally do and beg for Dokken.
Bastard. All right, hail and kill.
Hail and kill. There goes Tim.
What, is that a bad idea?
Not at all.
I mean, if Tim just does it through Make-A-Wish, I'll bet you they'd go.
Sure.
Don's a charitable soul.
Right. Nice. No, he's a dick. You remember?
That's right. He is a dick.
Yeah. He wasn't even being a dick last night.
Wow. Tim took a fucking beating from me tonight.
I know. Tim's a good sport, man.
God damn.
He gets it. That's what I like about Tim, is he gets it.
Gilp Dog in the chat room. Damn it, Chris. Quit fucking with the blind. Shit.
Somehow I see Tim standing on a street corner with a sign with wearing those blacked out round glasses, kind of like those John Lennon glasses, but they're really dark.
Yeah.
And holding one of those canes and holding out a tin cup.
Right.
And he's got a sign around his neck that says, "Roses are red, violets are blue. That's what they tell me because I'm blind."
God damn.